Hey guys, this is Metiri Dubstep, and people have been bugging me about vocals a lot. So in this video, I'll be going over just about everything you need to know about vocals, where I get my vocals, acapellas, where you can get them, how to process them, how to make them sound good, how to sync them up to tempo, and I guess that's about it. That's all you really need to know about vocals. So let's go over where I get my vocals. So I'll go into Opera, the best browser, and the first website I usually go to if I'm looking for something and I know what I'm looking for is called acapellasforyou.co.uk. That's just like that. That'll be in the description. This is really good for if you know what you're looking for, but not all of these are like the best quality, so you have to keep that in mind. You have to log in, or you have to like register. I mean, you could register with your Facebook, I'm pretty sure, and then you just like search for them. Let's see if you could actually search without. Nope, you need to log in before you can really download anything. So keep that in mind. Another place that you should always look if you can't find it is Google, and you can find like random stuff, like let's say Coldplay acapella, and if that doesn't come up, hey, look at Coldplay acapella collection. If that doesn't come up, you could say vocals only, and let's see how good this is, like just the YouTube video. And the bullets catching a tears. So obviously you can hear it's not like the best quality, but if you do a good job on on like putting it correctly in your song, then it'll sound good. No one will even notice. And another thing is, if you don't really know, if you're just kind of looking just randomly, you can sign up for a bunch of contests and get the stems of their songs, or you can go to remixcomps.com, which will be in the description. Excuse me. And you can download the stems of this. Some of these you can download, and it'll give you the vocal tracks. Another thing, let's see. Oh no, the Pirate Bay. But let's just studio vocals. You could find it somewhere. It's the Vengeance Studio Vocals Volume 1. So worth getting, even if you have to pay like $50 for it or something. So that's something that you should look at too, is the Vengeance Studio Vocals. They're amazing. If you go on like Loop Masters or Producer Packs or any like sample website, you could probably find vocal packs for like 10 or $15. I know High Rankin, he tweeted, or Facebook status did, I don't know what past tense is, but he Facebooked a link to this random girl that he always has singing her vocals, but it's really good. You should check that out too. So just like there are a bunch of resources for getting acapellas. You could ask people to sing for you. I mean, that's something that I've tried to do, but I'm a loner who sits in my room all day making music, so it's kind of hard. Anyway, let's actually go into vocals now after 4.5 minutes. One more thing is, if you get the Extra Boy plugin, look it up on like the Pirate Bay or something. You try to find a buying thing for it. Good luck. And literally all it is let me find like this. Okay, so the Extra Boy plugin is, you put it in, and whatever about. You don't even need to. Extra menu. And then down here in Ableton, you could change it to isolate vocal, high resolution. And you can play with the settings of this too, which, I mean, you can come close. Not perfect, but it's not bad either. Obviously, other songs work better than other songs. Some songs work better than other songs, sorry. So now, let's go in. Let's say I have a vocal pack thing here. But I'll just do the Vengeance sound pack, the vocal, studio vocals. And the good thing about the Vengeance one is they tell you the BPM, which is amazing, because if you have the BPM for any acapella, it's so easy to incorporate into your song. So let's say we wanted this, Hello You. We just drag in the vocals, and there it is. But you'll find out that it's not to tempo.
Hello You.
And let's say I wanted it at 140 for dubstep.
Hello You. It's me again. Never thought that you are my friend.
So it sounds like shit with the tempo. So what we do, if we know the tempo of the song, which we do, it's 142, is we unwarp, then warp again. Then we click on this top warp, and we set this number, segment BPM, I mean, to 142 because we know the tempo. So now you'll see it lines up perfectly, and we can cut this.
Hello You. It is me again. Never thought.
But you hear how it's like choppy because we slowed it down, because it's originally 142. But we went down to, let's say, 138. It'll sound a bit more choppy.
Hello You. It is me again. Never thought that you...
Like the quality kind of sounds deteriorated. So what we do is we click on it, and right in this same warp, whatever, we can go to warp mode. And from beats, we just go to complex. Always do this if you're warping. I'm just going to let you know that because it makes it sound so good.
Hello You. It is me again. Never thought that you were my friend all alone.
So you hear, like, if you listen really close, like, let's lower this to 120.
Hello You. It is me again.
See how it's doing that? It's, like, ugly. So now...
Hello You. It is me again. Never thought.
So you could obviously hear the difference. So that's if we know the BPM. So let's say we don't know the BPM. I have a vocal sample here somewhere. Vocal packs. This one is the VIP Zone Kate Lessing. I don't know. Vocals Volume 2. So I don't know the BPM of this, and it's giving me a bullshit BPM because that's what it does. So let's select all. Let's like click in here, select all, and click delete. And that deletes all the warp markers. So now we can pretty much have our own. And let's just say our first one should be over here. So we double click where we want our first warp to go, and we right click it on the yellow and set 1-1 here. 1-1-1-1, the first measure. So now with our metronome on, let's change the tempo to 140, or whatever you're working at.
Stars in cars, so popular, taking...
What you really have to do is you really have to listen and hear how you want it to sound. So you have to kind of like align each marker that you're going to put to where like it's going to happen in the song. So
stars in cars, so
1, 2, 3, 4 stars in cars.
Stars in cars, so popular, taking your desire for...
And let's first of all do complex to make it sound better.
Stars in cars.
I want this stars and cars thing to go. So I'm gonna click this, delete that, and
Stars and cars, so popular. Stars and cars, so popular.
I want the pop to be right on the 2.
Stars and cars, so popular. Taking your desire for a ride. Glamour teens.
What I did is I double clicked like right where the P is because I knew I wanted that on the 2. So I'd drag it off and then I'd like double click, then drag it to where I wanted it to go. So
Stars and cars, so popular. Taking your desire for a ride. Glamour teens in dream machine.
So now you see the gray ones? They're like these gray markers right there. If you click and drag, you can warp everything to this because this is changing constantly when we do this. See how it's changing, like lower and faster. This is usually good if the tempo sounds good. From this point on, like it doesn't sound like it's going faster or slower at certain points. So it's kind of weird to explain. You have to play with it to really understand. So I'm just going to try to find where I want this to go, and then we could play with whatever's in here.
Stars and cars, so popular. Taking your desire for a ride. Glamour teens in dream machines.
So now I'm just like making warp markers to where I want each word to go. So
Stars and cars, so popular. Taking your desire for a ride. Glamour teens in dream machines. Shine so bright.
So there you go. That's how you find vocals, or you get vocals and how to line them up if you don't know the BPM.
Stars and cars, so popular. Taking your desire for a ride. Glamour teens in dream machines. Shine so bright.
So that sounds really good. It sounds on tempo, and I'm just gonna delete all this shit. Shit. You can see it's a little off center because I set this to 1, but I didn't do it inside here. So just so I could have that like breathing moment.
Stars and cars. Stars and cars. Stars and cars.
So it's kind of weird. That's why I started a measure in or a bar in. Metiri is measure in Latin. So let's go over effects. What we want to do is obviously send a return. Send this through a return. So if we boost this like to -4 to return A, and we put a reverb into return A, because we're probably going to use a lot of reverb in this track. Let's take off high cut, change the quality to high, and I usually put the decay time up to 185, or I mean 1850, because it's in milliseconds, and just put the wet dry all the way up on your send. And now
Stars and cars.
that's obviously a lot because we're at -4, so let's go down to -12 or something.
Stars and cars.
-20.
Stars and cars, so popular. Taking your desire for a ride.
And again, that sounds pretty cool. What we could do as well, if we want to, what you could do instead of having this, if you really wanted to, but I wouldn't suggest it all the time. Oh, I guess I'll show you it. So we have a reverb track. That's cool. But if you don't want to do it this way, you could delete that. And let's say Control D on the audio, on your audio track. That'll duplicate it. Now if we put a reverb on this, do the same thing.
Stars and cars.
Just lower the volume of this.
In your desire for a ride.
And what we could do is we could add delay to this track. That's our effects track. So let's name this vocal dry. Vocals dry. Ah, that's not how you spell dry. And then vocals wet. which is going to have all of our effects. And we could...
Cars and cars, so popular, taking your desire for a...
We could turn the reverb a little down too.
Cars and cars, so popular, taking your desire for a ride. Glamour teens in dream machines shine so bright.
So that sounds really cool in my opinion. You could play with the effects, get something you like. If you're recording your own vocals, or if the sample you're using kind of sucks, like the volume is all over the place, you're probably going to want to compress it. I know Ableton has built-in effects or presets for compressor, so you can play with those, or you can drag in a compressor, and usually, I don't know, let's say -15, put the ratio up a bit, maybe to like 5. A knee would be a little nice, not too much of it. Mode FF1. I'm not sure, but FF1 usually sounds better to me. It sounds more natural.
Cars and cars, so popular.
And what the compressor is doing is making it so if there are small levels, like down here, it's not getting compressed yet, but let's say there's like let's say we did want it to get compressed. Right when it hits this point of the arrow, it's going to boost up.
Glamour teen.
And it will usually try to stay around wherever the line is. So this is a really good way to learn it, because Ableton is really visual, which is really nice. So
Glamour teens in dream.
What it's doing is it's pretty much trying to make it sound all at one level. It's almost like a limiter, but it's not a limiter. It's weird. It's use it and you'll hear the difference, and just play with the parameters if you really don't understand what I'm saying. So that's really
Stars and cars.
That's pretty much all you really need to know about vocals, and then processing, warping them. Just make sure you have something in your mind, and always put the tempo on. I usually just put the metronome on, not the tempo on. Put the metronome on, sync it up.
Stars and cars, so popular, taking your desire for a ride. Glamour teens in dream machines.
And if you don't already know about the utility in Ableton, put it in and just like put the width up, because it's cool. Put the width.
Stars and cars, so popular.
I think another thing that people do to get wider vocals,
Stars and cars.
if you didn't record it yourself, if you do record it yourself, have the person sing twice, and then pan each track of them singing the same thing, left and right. But if that doesn't, if you like are using a sample, you can, if you're trying to get a wider sound, you can delay it by a small amount. So let's say simple delay. Don't sync.
Stars and cars, so popular, taking your desire for a ride. Glamour teens in dream machines shine so.
It makes it sound a little wider.
Stars and cars, so popular, taking your
So that's like widening if you need it. What else can I go over? EQing really is pretty easy in vocals. Let me look at the spectrum analyzer.
Stars and cars.
You can see it. It's really in the like upper mid range, or I guess you consider that, yeah, upper mid range. EQing really just cut the lows.
Stars and cars.
Cut the lows so you have room for your basses. So EQ8. You can cut the lows and it won't even change the sound of it.
Stars and cars, so popular.
And I think it's 1K. Let's put 3 up and then put the Q up. Around 1K.
Stars and cars, so popular.
There's like...
Stars and cars, so popular, taking your desire for a ride. Glam your teens in dream machines.
There's like, I forget what frequency it is, so give me a second.
Stars in cars, so popular. Taking your desire.
Hear how that whistle at like 5K? If you have a lot of because you weren't using a pop filter or something, or you just really emphasize your S's, then really just take off around there. You'll hear it if you put the Q up on one of your nodes and then put the gain up. Then you can just lower that gain, like pop it out.
Stars in cars, so popular. Taking your desire for a ride. Glam your teens in dream machines.
Hear how that is like sa, sa. Let me try to fix that real quick.
Stars in cars, so popular. Taking your desire for a ride. Glam your teens in dream machines. Shine so bright. Stars in cars, so popular. Taking your desire for a ride. Glam your teens.
It's like, if you spend enough time on it, you could find it. But, yeah, so that's, like, take out the hisses. What else do you really need to know? I'll show you my latest track, which was Reach, the vocal processing that I had to do for it. The name of my files are so bad. I'm so sorry. Let's see if this hurries up. You want to be nice to me? Pretty much what I did is I took a track from the Vengeance, whatever it is. No EQing on here. A little EQing. The EQing for the main vocals is pretty simple. I cut most of the sub basses and a little bit from around here, boosted some frequencies.
Why can't you see? I want you here with me when I read.
And you could hear, I took out from the main vocals some of the higher frequencies because I have effects and a lot of my leads I think are hitting up there too. So I took a little bit off just to give it a little bit of room. But volume also plays a big factor in mixing. So vocal processing here is really a lot of EQing. I'm sending it through reverb quite a bit. Then I have a vocoder, which is the same exact, it's playing pretty much the same exact thing as the vocal track. It's the same track. And I put a vocoder on it, which it's one of these, it's a built-in plugin with Ableton Live 8. So you probably can't hear it that well, but it's there. The vocoder, I put it, there's carrier types, which you can use noise, which kind of gives you like a robotic, demony sound. But usually I go for external. So if you do that and you do audio from, you could change where your audio is coming from and where it's coming in from your to your vocoder. Sorry, I'm like trying to explain this and I'm really bad at it. So I'm actually linking this to this track. So you can hear that it's kind of doing the vocals, but at that like pitch almost. It's really cool. And you can hear it only plays when audio is being input from a source, when it's on external. So that's the last thing I'm really going to talk about is that funness. Then, of course, for vocal chopping, you could use MIDI. I don't usually like using MIDI for it. I usually just cut up the audio track, as you could see from my bundle of copy and pastes. And that should do it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you like, then tell me. And leave a heart in the comments. Because I know you can't, because it's impossible. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and live life.